What we see here is a spreadsheet that was presented to the court as a key piece of evidence. It's a chart showing across the top all the different nurses who worked on the ward, and down the side you have 25 suspicious events. And what we see is that there's a pattern of X's throughout the column with Lucy Letby's name on. I'm Peter Green, Emeritus Professor of Statistics here in Bristol, and I've a long career studying various aspects of statistics. This rota appears extremely damning because it's a very simple story to tell. And the eye is naturally drawn to what seems to be an extremely strong coincidence. She's always there when these events happen. There was enough in the papers in that time to understand that there had been a pattern of excess deaths in a particular ward in this hospital in Chester, and that there was a suspicion fallen on this particular nurse. This is the report that we produced for the Royal Statistical Society. Healthcare serial killer or coincidence, statistical issues in the investigation of suspected medical misconduct. This concerns trials of medical professionals who are accused partly on the basis of data collected which maps their duty rosters against the times of the adverse events. And so the assumption is that their presence on the ward is probable cause of the death. What we sought to write down here was guidelines for the analysis and interpretation of data of this kind. Now, my concerns about these data are, what was the selection of an event as being suspicious? Were all these nurses actually on ward duty? Why are the doctors not visible in this chart? So all of those things seem to us to be potentially sources of bias. But the main thing is there's no other information about all these suspicious events or other information about the infants concerned.
And now, questions have emerged about the other deaths which occurred in the unit during this time period.
Lucy Letby was charged with 7 murders, and the jury only heard about those. What we should all know is that there were many other deaths in that ward. Estimates vary of how many more, but at least 6 other deaths during the period covered by this duty roster. And evidence about those were not presented in the court. Why did they happen? When we're teaching statistics, we show our students good and bad practice. And this spreadsheet, as presented in the courtroom, is a lovely example of how not to do something.